Hello, friends. Welcome to 2026. Today is the 1st of Jan 2026, and I have made a resolution. I'm going to make more videos and be more interactive and share a lot more of what I know about on my YouTube channel for you to get more insights into how you should be reading charts. Today, I'm picking up on a very simple point, and that will open up a lot more understanding of how prices move. And this happens actually on all the charts. So once you know this simple thing that I'm going to talk about today, you will realize that how price moves, and it's pretty much even 80% of the time this behavior is seen in charts. So without spending a lot of time, I'm going to take you to the charts, and I'll start sharing something which is not very well documented by people, and is a simple behavior that will explain why prices move and how they move, and probably that can help you design your trades and in some way, try and create some kind of a judgment call as to what the price is doing, where it is headed. Because reading the chart is important because we know where the price is heading, and if we know where the price is heading, you can devise a trade, take your entries, target where the price is going to head to, and sometimes even use the best stop losses to get the maximum squeeze from the trade that you're going to take. So without spending much more time on this, I'm going to take you to the this particular understanding that I want to share with you. So you're seeing some screen, but I'm going to take you to some recorded charts that I have already saved on my system for you to see. Now, what I'm going to bring here is one important aspect. What you see here is a daily chart of Bajaj Finance futures chart. And what you see here is I've drawn this box here. Now, what essentially I'm doing is I'm trying to draw a box from the top of a range to the bottom of a range. Now, how do I do that? Let me hide this tool for a moment and explain to you how I'm doing it. Well, this is a fixed chart, so you're not going to be able to see it, but let me explain to you and bring it on a chart. So this is a still frame of the charts that I've saved. But before we get to this chart, I'm going to show you this exact chart and show you how I've done it. So let's go to Bajaj Finance futures. Here we go. And you see the same screenshot that you saw is what we're seeing here. So what I'm doing here is I am using my GANbox tool. I'm going to release this out here. Now the GANbox tool is something that you will find here on the side of your panel. This is the GANbox tool, and I'm going to use that tool. Now what I'm doing here is I'm using the high that I see from where the price is currently. I'm going to the extreme right and seeing the next high, and I'm going to the extreme left from here, bottom, and seeing the extreme left here, and I'm drawing this GANbox. Now, how does this GANbox come about? You want to see the settings? You can take a screenshot and you'll be able to see the settings here. So all that I've done is I've ticked off everything except 0, 1, 0.25, 0.5, and 0.75. What this gives me is nothing but a beautiful separation of the entire range, and it tells me what is the 25% of this range, what is the 50% of this range, what is the 75% of this range, and what is the 100% of this range. And it gives me a median which I'm interested in. This is a median that I'm interested in because by my observation, price, once it goes up, it tends to return back to 50% of the level before it restarts a journey back up again. Now, it could be that it goes up, comes down 50%, and then there's a matrix that is used. It basically will either go up from here, go back to this level, or the other thing is it can go back down to this level. These are the two journeys it takes. So what we will understand here is that this is nothing else but the swing high, and this is nothing else but the swing low. Okay, so if this is the swing low, I'll mark it as swing low, swing low. Now what does price do? Price will generally go up in one way, will create a swing high, and when it starts to come down, the tendency for the price is to travel right down up to the 50% line before it decides whether it wants to go up back to the swing high or whether it wants to come down and go back to the swing low. Now, if it goes back, if it starts to go back up again, that is nothing else but a continuation of the trend that started at this point. It went up, it retraced back 50%, and then it started keep going up. So all that we're going to say is that this is nothing else but a trending stock which is going higher. But if a stock is in a sideways range, what it'll do is it'll go higher, it'll come down to the 50%, and it'll come down back again to the swing low. Now, when it does that, what is the trend? The trend is a sideways ranging trend. This is what we need to understand. So the inflection point is this key level of 50%, which then decides, which is where the price makes a decision whether it wants to go up or it wants to go down. This is the point of inflection where the price will decide whether it wants to go up or whether it wants to go down. Now, this behavior is something that we need to track. And what I'm going to try and establish here with you is how this 50% is reached in a number of instances. To do that, I have drawn about 10, 20 charts to show you the same behavior. And we'll go through these charts and we'll try to understand how often does this happen. So I'm going to take you to some screenshots now. So let's go with Bajaj Finance, like you've already seen here. You see how beautifully it has gone up and come back down again, right? Let's go to the next one. I'm going to close this so you understand the behavior. It'll go up. Let me just use some tool to show you that, right? So what has happened is it's gone up here and then it's gone down here back to the 50%. This is what we have seen, right? And this is the 50% level, okay? Let's go to the next chart. Let's go to the next one that I've saved. Now, here you go, Bandhan Bank. This is another chart which I'm going to use to show you the same behavior. Now, like I explained to you earlier, see what's happening here. The price has gone up, okay? It has retraced back to that 50% level, and it has given us a small move up, right? But at this 50% level, it has decided to stall and decided to come down back again. Now, why has that happened is something that we will get to understand in this chart, okay? Again, it went up, and now this time it has gone below the 50% level. Now, what does this tell us? This tells us that since it is going below the 50% level, it's going to go to this level is what the price is telling me. And I'm expecting the price to go and touch this line. This is what I'm expecting the price to do. Now, in the overall scheme of things, there's nothing else but a sideways range, right? This is the sideways range that we picked up. If you see, this is the top of the range, right? And this is the bottom of the range. And this is what the price is doing. Now, this is something which is very important for you to notice in this chart. Why did it go up this 50%? Now, if I were to use my Gann tool here, if you notice that this particular swing, and if you notice this particular move here, this is nothing else but 50% of the swing that we had from this portion to this portion. If you calculate, this will be roughly about 50% of the swing. So the price will behave in this way, not only in the major swing, it will behave this way even in the smaller swings. If you notice, the price went to 50%, went down, back down again. And here, if you notice in this particular box, the price remained sideways. So it went down. Now I'm going to use another color to change. I'll change the color of the arrow to explain to you. It went down, okay? It went up, it went down again, it went up again, and then went down again. So in this particular box, it was in a sideways range. And even in this box, at one point of time, it did give a reaction of 50% at a given point of time, right? So this is what you need to understand is something that the price does. It will not go down in one line. On the contrary, it will go down to some extent, and then it will go back up again to test its 50% level, and then go back down again, and then go back up again on its 50% journey, and then go back down again. That's what price does. It does not always fall down in one line. That's a very rare occurrence, okay? So we're going to see all of these through different charts now. So I'm going to bring up another chart for you now. Let's see. I get Bank Nifty here. So Bank Nifty, again, this move, see how beautifully the price went up, came down to that 50% level. Yeah, so beautifully. This is the move, right? It came down to the 50% level of that move, and how beautifully it has moved up. And now what is happening in the current moment? This is a swing box, right? So I'm going to use this as a swing box right now. This is something that's happening right now, right? Now see what is happening at exactly the 50% level. See what's happening here. The price is again beginning to move. It went higher. Sorry, I'm going to use the arrow tool here. It moved high, but down, and now it's again going higher. This is something we need to look at. And now it can again fall back into that 50% range. And then the decision would be made here, whether it wants to fall down or whether it wants to continue back up again. And the moment it breaks this level higher is when the trend continues to resume. So this is something that is beautifully seen in this chart. Let's go and look at some other charts again. So I'm going to close this one now, right? I'm going to close this one. We're going to go to another one. Let's see another chart that comes on the screen. Look at how beautifully this is again responding, right? Look at this move. We went up, we came down, and we're again going higher. And this again, if you take this as a box, again, this as a box, notice the 50% level. Notice the 50% level. And see how price reacts beautifully at that 50% level. With this little understanding, I'm sure you can definitely change your chart reading skills. Let's look at some more charts to convince ourselves this happens very, very regularly. This is a chart of Blue Star. Again, so beautifully. The price went here. Sorry, let's take the arrow tool. The price so beautifully went up, and look how it came down to that 50% level. Now, one thing to note here is that this 50% level is not a line in the sand, it's an area. So when you talk about this 50%, it should always be taken in context as a box. It should not be the line. It can be the line, but most of the time it will be a box. And that will be the area that you need to look at, right? So this is the understanding that you get. Now, what happened here? Price came here. It gave a little bit of a trap here, trying to show that it's going to go down. It went back up. Now, why did it go back up? It went up because it wanted to trap some people who had already taken the short. With the understanding that I'm giving you, you will take a short here, thinking the price after it went down is going to go to this level. So all those who took a short, there was a sharp move, took off all the stop losses, and look how beautifully it's begun to come down again. And it got to this level. And now again, what are we seeing? Has it not bounced back to that 50% level? How beautiful is that? Now, here we need to make a judgment call. I'll release all the drawings, and here we need to make a judgment call as to what's going to happen, right? So here, what can happen is at this level, what can happen is what we need to see, right? At this level, now the price can either take this route and start to come down again. There's something that we'll get a reaction if we see what price action is here, or we can anticipate that the price is now going to go back to swing highs, right? This is your swing high, right? And this is your swing low. So this is an area where you will decide. Now, the thing to understand is that the moment you saw the price bounce in this area, right? This area, you saw the price bouncing back. Now, if you see the price bouncing back with a lot of certainty, you could have said that this was the area the price could have definitely gone to. So, and that's how many points? So if you look at this point, it's 1700, and this is 1779. So this is a 70-point move in which even if you can capture 40 points, you're good to go. So this is the advantage of understanding this theory that I'm bringing to you, that you can actually prejudge what the price is doing with this behavior that you see very commonly happening on the charts. This is something that you can take advantage of. Let's go and look at some other charts again. So I'm going to take you to another chart now. Let's see BPs here. Okay, it's beautiful. See what's happening here. Right? Beautiful move. We went up. Again, predictably came down to that 50%. Right? Beautiful 50%. Again, like I told you, this is always to be a box. It cannot be a pinpoint accuracy line on the chart because there are a lot of people, right? And now see what's happening. Okay. Again, the prices have moved up. And where have they gone? They've gone to the swing high. And what's happening here? Do you see a breakout? But then today, what happened was, this is for 1st of Jan. So these are fresh charts which have been copied today. There's no random charts. I'm not looking at some old charts. I'm looking at random charts. And soon we'll go to some fresh charts also. If you had this been a live session, I could have taken you and taken a chart from you. But I'll take that liberty and we'll take another chart, which is not something, it's out of my selection box. And look what is happening here. Now, there are two things that can happen here. One is the price can go up, it can break out, or it can come down. Now, if it comes down, in all probability, where is it heading? It's heading back to that 50% level. Now, what is this distance that we get to judge whether it can come down or no? 383 to 355. That's a 30-point move, 28 to 30-point move that we can work with. And even if you take on futures, if you make 15, 20 points, are you guys happy with this reading? Perfect. I think it's a beautiful reading to go with, right? Let's look at some other charts. I'm going to take you to some more charts. Let's look B. I'll take you to the, because I've been just looking at random charts and started with the alphabetics, and that's how I got my readings, right? So let's look at this chart here. I'm going to again use my tool. Beautiful move up. Right. Look how, yes, what's happened is it's fallen in one go right below this 20%. So we've seen a gap down. Where did it go back to? It went back to the swing low. And now what happened? It's gone back to the swing high. Oh, sorry, the middle path, the 50% fib. And what is happening here? Guys, what is happening here? It's taking support at the 50% level. It's struggling. Now, what are the next steps? It can go back up again, or it can go back down again. But what are all these things? What are all these things? These are all supports, right? There's consistent buying happening. And this buying is happening at what level? It is happening at that 50% level, which is so crucial. Guys, the big money uses this technique, and that's the reason you see the same behavior every time, right? So this was Britannia. Let's look at some other charts. Let's go to Cipla, B, after C. After B, you get C. Well, I'm going very, very chronologically, alphabetically, if you can say. And I'm so sorry, I'm going to use my arrow tool, and this is the move that we had. And we fell back right up to that 50% level, as predictable as can be. You see this line, 50% line. And what did we do here? We again hesitated for a moment here. And finally we fell. And what did we head back to? We head right back to swing low. Again, here we could have predicted this fall from 1580 to 1480. That's a 100-point run on Cipla. Now, if that's a 500 share lot, and I'm not too sure about what the lot size is, but minimum, let's say minimum 500 shares, right? This is a move of 50,000 rupees. 100-point move is worth 50,000 rupees, right? Now, even if you capture 25, 30, 40, 50, 60% of this 50,000 move, it's not bad at all, because the futures margin on this would be somewhere roughly about 1.5 lakhs. And if you make about 30,000 on 1.5 lakhs, that's about 20% gain in a matter of days. This is a very slow move, but maybe just a month, and 20% return in a month, right? Lovely. Let's go and look at some more charts to convince you as to this, how this works so consistently over other products also. Now here, this is crude for a change. So it doesn't work on stocks alone, and in indices alone, it works on crude too. Look at this move, 50, right up, right? Move back down, 50%. See how at 50%, it started to show some kind of a move down, move, some kind of a resistance and a sideways move after it came down to the 50%. And voila, what happened? It has started to fall, and we have already fallen quite a lot. We have come here, we haven't fallen to the lowest point. We will fall to the lowest point somehow. This is what we call inducement, right? This is inducement. This is something that you need to learn, right? This is inducement. Now, see what is happening within this 50% move. This was an internal 50% move on the smaller time frame, and see what happened here. It went down 50%, it went down 100% up to this, and where did it come back to? 50%. And where it's falling back again? 50%, right? So if you see in this box, the price has begun to show a sideways move, and it could do one more turn up, sorry. It could do one more turn up and one more turn down. It could do all of that, and this could be our suggested target for this particular move, right? This is how we can build trades, just understanding this little simple thing. No indicators at all. We have not used any indicators. We've simply used price action and the understanding that how does the price swing. Let's go to the next chart, okay? I'm going to take you to gold, right? The gold is interesting, right? Let's go to gold. See what happened here. So what has happened here is peculiar. You'll tell me, why did I take this swing low? Well, I'll explain to you why I did not take this swing low. What happened was that, oh, sorry, I think I've gone to the wrong, okay, let's go to gold here. Gold, let's go to gold futures here, right? So you already have my chart here. This is live. Let's go and take the tool. So what you see here is I have taken this particular level as the area in context, because this is where we broke out. You can actually say this is an area where we broke out from, right? So I drew my first tangent from here. It went up beautifully, came back down 50%. Then headed to what? It headed to the swing high, right? And what is done after it took the swing high? It has gone higher. So this is a breakout. Now what is going to happen after the breakout? It's going to try and test this breakout level again, and probably will go back again, right? This is the way you can predict price, right? Now, had this gone, the moment it bounced off from here, this became this area, this particular area became my, this particular area. Let me try. When the price started to bounce from here, this particular area, it became my target. So again, here from here, 117,500 to 132,500, that's a 15,000 rupee bounce on gold. Imagine what the kind of money you could have made just trying to predict what price is going to do after it has given you a bounce from that 50% level. How amazing is that? Let's look at some more charts. I'm going to go back to my let me get you. This is another chart by ICICI General Insurance. I think ICICI General Insurance. Very similar. We went up from here, rather from here, that is, from here, right? We went up from here. We came down. Where have we come down? To the 50%. And now what's happening at the 50% level? Very simply put, we are facing some kind of support. You see all the support? Now, if you see this kind of bounce happening, this is the target that we need to look at. Price is destined to go higher. If it goes higher, we'll go to the swing high once again. Now, this is 1950, and this is about 2070. That's 120 point gain. That's beautiful, guys. 120 points, right? 120 points is a lot of money, right? It's a lot of money that you can make on futures, isn't it? So I guess you get the gist of what I'm trying to talk to you. Now, these have been live charts. Now, let us look at something which I haven't marked. So I'm going to use Indigo, right? This is something that I haven't marked. I'm going to remove everything that I have here. And how are we going to see this? Beautiful. All right, let's see this. Okay. So what do we have here? I'm going to take my GAN box tool. I'm going to go right up, right? I will see this as the last. I'm not going to see this here because this was a very shallow move. So I'm not going to take this. I'm going to take this and I'm going to go right up and calculate my box. I could use this as the reference point because this was the swing low. I'm not going to use this as a swing point because this was just a shake off. So I'm going to use this as my swing point and I'm going to draw the 50% fib. This was the 50% fib. I'll mark it here and see what's happened. We went up. Now let's go back to our tools, right? We went back up. Okay. We came down. We wobbled around this area for a while, right? And once now, again, if you take the tool again, I'm going to, if you take the tool again, if you consider this box, right? If you see, this is the 50%. Do you see the price reacting from this 50% of this tool? Now, how do I get to 50%? This is 50%. This is a 25% line. So the box, the price moved 50% down. It traced back into this area, 50%, traced back down, traced back up 50%, and then decided to fall. And when it fell, where did it go? It went down to the swing low. And now what's happening, guys? Now what's happening? It's back to that swing low. It's taken this beautiful move and it's trying to find its place. Now, this is the area of decision making, right? If you get some kind of a rise here, what's going to happen is it's going to go back up and go to this level here. That's 5,700 from an area of 5,110. That's how much? That's 600 points. Right? 600 points. So isn't this beautiful, guys? We are able to now, this was a swing low, right? We are able to now predict what the price is going to do. And as swing traders, we have got some kind of a insight into as to what price will do from here, right? So if you see the price is now bouncing around and showing some kind of a move here. Now, today's move, it went up, right? It went up and then we got cornered down again. We're still trying to work out here what's going to happen. But if we come to some realize, and if we come to see some bounce here, then we can, predictably say that the price can go up like this, and eventually head to this. So our target could be this 500 points. And if it goes lower, no break shakes, we could aim for this particular mark as something that we could aim for. If it starts to go lower, right, this will be our target. That's how you decide where the price is headed to. So the point where it's going to decide whether it's going to go up and down is this particular important point, is what we're going to try and understand here. Let's look at some more charts. At the expense of making a video a little long, are you guys convinced what I'm trying to talk to you about? Yeah, gives you some insight as to how prices move. If you just check at that 50% level, that's the area where you can take a decision whether you want to continue with the trend or you want to stop at that trend where you're going to get a reversal or you're going to get a continuation on the chart, and that is going to tell you what the price is going to do from there. Now I'm talking about the 1 hour time frame, 1 day time frame. We could go down to the 1 hour time frame and probably find a similar behavior, right? Let's remove some of these and let's see what it's doing. I'm going to zoom in 1 hour, right? This is not a very good resolution. Let's look at this 1 hour and see if we can find something here, right? Okay, beautiful. Let's try and connect this swing low, right? This swing high, and we are going to connect it to this swing low. Now, this is something I would not want to do because this is just an aberration. I'd like to take it at this level because all of this is nothing, but all of this is just a reaction. This is a stop hunt, kind of a behavior to some news. So I'm going to take this as my base. Now, this comes with understanding price behavior. So in a small video, I'm not going to be able to explain to you. But yes, if you join me on a more deeper engagement, probably you'll be able to understand better. And now see how beautifully the 50% is reacting, right? How beautifully The 50% is reacting. Price went up all the way, came down 50%. Yeah, it came down 50%. And now it's engaging at that 50% level again, right? Went down again. Right, let me take the two again. Went down again, went back up again, right? And this time it's broken out of that 50%. Now, once it's broken out of that 50% level, right? It's broken out of that 50% level. What do you expect? You expect it to go to the swing high, right? What did it do? It went to the swing high. It's come back down again to the 50%. And now I can expect it either to go back up, right? Or I can expect it to again break down and then approach this level of 5,010. Doesn't this make our trading way easier than what we think it is, right? Just this little reading that the price will go back to test the 50% of the range it has created. This little information as traders can help us capture these small price movements. And if we are people who will be happy with 20, 30,000 rupees of profits every day, trust me, there are a lot of charts and a lot of things that can give you this kind of move. And you can capture these and make 30, 40,000 rupees every day with a small token investment about 10 to 15 lakhs. Use futures, be very selective about what you want to use. And this could be something that could be a game changer in your trading. Isn't it, guys? I hope you liked this video, right? I hope you loved this video and it gave you insight as to how prices move. The objective in 2026 is to help you read the charts. I'm not going to come out with strategies. I have a lot of strategies, but that's something that requires a lot of engagement with me. But what I plan to do is introduce these little snippets of chart reading that can help you get your trading to a better level. Now, if you really want to go to in depth of how you will take advantage of these little, understanding the chart, you need to engage with me on a little more consistent basis and in a program that I have where I cover a few basic things and I will take you to a level where you'll start making money from the markets. I have one basic philosophy that I want to share with you before I end this video, and that's something that is very important for you to understand. You are making a start to a new year. If you're making losses and not consistently making money, there's one mistake which a lot of traders make. I made that mistake a lot when I was young, and I corrected on it, and now my trading is leveled out and way more consistent. I do make losses time and again, not to say that I'm consistently profitable in every trade, but my consistency has gone up from 50% to probably about 70% now, which is remarkable. Okay, I've seen a lot of improvement in my results after I reached that level of 70%. Now, what I want to convey to you in this video and as a new year message to you is that there are a lot of things that are available on the net, on YouTube, and there are a lot of learnings. Now, this creates a lot of distraction in the process of making money. Focus down on a few things that resonate with you. And if you start using them and start getting results, just keep focusing on that particular aspect of your chart reading skill and get better at it. Don't keep on looking for new things on the net, or when you engage with more people or you're presented with these webinars that come up with different strategies. Don't do that. Stick to a strategy that works for you. Try to get better at it every day, and you will get the results you want from your trading. See, you're not there to become a PhD at chart reading. You're there to make money from the markets, and that should be your sole purpose in trading. And how will you achieve that? Is by understanding one nuance which sits into your mind. And the more you look at it, the more better you get at it, and the more better you're able to predict your chart reading skills. And the more better you're able to, gauge where the price is going. It's all about, chart reading is all about trying to find the best probability of where the price is heading to. With a little video that I've given to you today, it gives you a great insight as to how prices move and how mechanically prices move, and they move in a very predictive cycle. Now, you can look at your charts now with what I've given for you to understand and do your own backtest. and see whether you find some resonance in what I have brought to you today. And that will give you a great insight into chart reading. So with that, I'll end this video. Have a lovely year. And I encourage you to get in touch with me. If you're really struggling with your trading, I'll put you across through some beautiful strategies and good understanding, and it'll give you consistent money on a regular basis with the least amount of stress. The idea is to make money without stress. That's what trading should look like. It's very simple, guys. Trust me, it's not difficult to make money. It's just that you need to focus on just the right thing and make trading simple, and it starts working for you. That's it, guys. Goodbye. And I hope you enjoyed the video. Give it a like. Do subscribe to my channel and keep looking out for these little snippets that I share with you, which will add a lot to your chart reading skill. Thank you. Goodbye. And have a lovely year and trade well, trade for success, only to bring money home, not to prove anything to anyone else. Goodbye.